My name is Michelle Sherritt. I am the owner and founder of a company called QCamp. We are a digital marketing firm located in the Chicago area. We create user-friendly websites. We do social media marketing. We do SEO strategy, business strategy, you name it. We pretty much are your one-stop shop. What makes us unique is that not only do we have QCamp as one of our businesses, we also have a company called Situated Research. That's our parent company, and that's a usability firm. So basically what that means is that we have PhDs on staff who are experts in different areas of usability. And that pertains to QCamp because we build websites. So every website that we build, we want to make sure that it's user-friendly. We want to make sure that when users come to it, it's intuitive. You find the information that you want to find quickly. And SEO is part of that. And so you'll learn more about that today as we go on. Go ahead and advance. So today we're going to talk about what is SEO, search engine optimization, very briefly. We're going to talk a little bit about how it works, how to succeed in SEO, and then I'll give you some takeaways as well. I will tell you that being a business owner myself, I have worked with a lot of small business owners who want to know more about SEO just to become more knowledgeable about it. But when they come to a webinar like this, usually the content is like, oh my gosh, I just need to hire someone. This is way over my head, or this just is too complicated, or I have no interest in search engine optimization, but I know that I need it. So today I just want to make you knowledgeable so that you can go out and you would know the basics of SEO just to be a little dangerous, but also to be able to run your company and know, hey, when I hire someone to do SEO for my website, I know what they're doing, and I can understand it a little bit better. So again, a little bit about me. We started our companies back in 2008. My background actually is in psychology. And I use that every day, though, when we are creating websites and doing social media marketing for clients. We have serviced over 4,500 businesses since 2008. And typically, we'll build their website or we'll help them refine their current website. We'll help them with SEO. And then that always turns into social media marketing and marketing strategies for these businesses because we already know your business. We've worked with you building the website. And we've done the SEO and competitor research and all that good stuff. Some other things about me, I also own 7 local networking groups here in Naperville, along with my husband, Dr. Sherritt. He and I started these groups back in 2008, and they've grown and grown here in the Chicago area. So we're very proud of that. So we're very community connected. We love bringing businesses together and networking with others, which is what we're all about. So let's talk a little bit about SEO, search engine optimization. I love this infographic that we found. It really encompasses what is all involved with SEO. SEO is such a broad term, but basically what it means is it's just your visibility online. How do the search engines find you online? How do people find you by putting in certain keywords? And it's referred to as natural. You've probably heard that term, or organic, even earned results. Like maybe you have a lot of Google reviews, so you start to rank higher. But all of these things around the circle here of SEO really have to be in place, and they have to be done well in order for you to rank high. And a lot of people think that once they have all these pieces in place, that they start ranking high quickly, and that's not the case either. Once you have all of these pieces in place, then the search engines want to make sure that, hey, your website's worthy of even looking at. Your website's worthy of even ranking. And they do that by looking at the amount of traffic that comes to your website. And so that's when social media marketing comes into play, because that gets people to your website. So it's a lot, but if you take it piece by piece, it's actually manageable. And it's something that even if you hire an SEO expert, you can be part of each step of the process to understand it a little bit more. So just some statistics here. Search users prefer organic listings. So 94% of our searches are organic, meaning that people go online, they type in certain keywords, and your website should come up. 6% is paid, so like through Google Ads, things like that. So what we want to do is we want to tell our customers what we want to tell them in the moment that matters. So when someone's doing a Google search, they're looking for certain information that they want to know now. They don't want to know it later. They don't want to be bugged later. They want to know it now. And so when they want to know it now, we want to catch them and we want our website to come up first, right? On that first page of the search results. So 72% of buyers turn to organic when they do research, when they're in the research stages of purchasing anything. So they go online, we all do it. We search certain keywords, things pop up, we click on them, we start doing our research. 89% of consumers use search engines for their purchase decisions. And I would actually raise that number a little bit. These are numbers from 2 years ago. It's probably even higher now. And we just have to kind of think about our user behavior when we're online and we're searching for something. Let's say we're looking for a couch for our living room. We're looking for a specific leather couch. We start looking at Pottery Barn and Nordstrom's and whatever. We want a good brand couch. We start searching for those items. We start looking at reviews. And so that's all that stuff goes into our brains. We compute it, we think about it, and we make our purchasing decisions based off of that. And then 90%, again, this is probably higher now, smartphone users are looking for information. So we're on the train going to work and a thought comes into our mind about, oh, hey, I need to get my son new shorts for summer. All right, I'm going to do a search. Or I'm looking for a new car. I'm on the train. I have time. I'm just going to look it up. So we all do that. And the behavior is even higher and higher of a percentage now. So how does SEO work? I'm going to get into a little bit of nitty-gritty background, but not too much because, I mean, to be honest, business owners really don't need to know the nitty-gritty. Most of the people who come to these webinars aren't going to be like, oh, this is great. I think I'm going to try to implement this myself when I get back to the office. We're all kind of overwhelmed and we're trying to take in the information. And most likely we're going to hire an SEO expert. But again, I just want to make you knowledgeable today so that you can have those conversations and know what you're talking about. So the first step in search engine optimization is that the Google or Bing or whatever browser you are using, these bots will crawl the internet. And they're looking for certain keywords, and they're looking for those keywords on your website to rank you. They're also looking for links within your website, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. And then those bots, as they find pages on the web, they decide whether or not they want to include you. So that's kind of where that traffic part comes in. Is your website important enough? So I always say we do the bare minimum of SEO to get you to start ranking online, but then you have to do social media marketing. You have to direct people to your website. You have to post things online. Because if you don't, all that basic stuff that you did is not going to get you ranked. It all has to work together. And then third, you've all heard this, search engines have an algorithm that they use. It changes all the time. Now Google's changing it monthly. So they're looking for different things. So you kind of have to stay on top of it. And so that's why an SEO expert is someone who would be knowledgeable of what's going on within those algorithms, and they'll know how to change their clients' SEO so that you can change with the times as well. So how do you succeed in SEO? There's a few steps. These are the 3 key ways. So one is community-based. So you want to be found on the web and you want to promote great content. The second is the code. So the code behind your website. You want to make sure that it's optimized. It's clean code, meaning that there are no coding errors within your website. So you kind of have to involve your web developer as well. And you have to know code. And you want to make sure that your website is search engine friendly as well, and also user friendly. So that's kind of where we come into. And then you want to make sure that your content is great content. So I've used great content on here. What does that mean? Great content means not only the content on your website is marketable, and it speaks to every stakeholder that would come to your website, but also that it includes these keywords that people would actually search for, because that's how your website's going to be brought up. So just some little nitty gritty here, but I'm going to spell it out for you so you understand it. There's on-page optimization for SEO, and that's kind of where we start. So we'll look at your current website and we'll look at your headers. So those are those big, you can see here on the left, it's those big headings that you put up. They're called H1 headings for the main ones, and then you'll have smaller ones that are H2. You can go all the way to H6. And this basically, what this does is it tells the search engines what content is going to be on a specific web page. So this was a blog post where we talked about tips for websites. And so we put in the keywords that we wanted for that heading. This just shows you what the code looks like in the back end. So you need to know code in order to do SEO. That is part of it. But it's pretty basic. Like you see H1, it's a class, you enter the title, this is the title. You end it with the H1 that closes that line of code. So every page of your website has this. You can, even without knowing anything, you can pull your website up on the internet and you can right click with your mouse and you can click view page source, and it'll pull up the code for the page that you're on. And you'll see all the code for that web page. And you'll be able now to kind of pick this out if you want to nerd out a little bit. You can act like you know a lot about coding. But you can look at and you can see, do I have headers on my web pages? Some people don't, or it hasn't been coded correctly. And so then the search engines won't even look at your website. So just some recommendations for these H1. These are your big headers. They're in the bigger font. You want to have at least one per page. You want to make sure that it's keyword rich and unique within your industry. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit further on. Again, you can have header 2 and header 3 tags to kind of show subsections of your website, those pages that you're on. You can do that as well. It does help with SEO, putting more keywords on each page. And so that's something that you can do as well. The second item is we talk about meta descriptions. So every page of your website not only has keywords, but they also have what's called a meta description. And this basically is just 120 to 150 characters long, 2 sentences at most. And it tells you what this page, again, is about. So it's just a description of the page. So when you do a Google search, you can tell, like, I put in creating an SEO strategy. Now, those are a lot of words to put in, but we all do it when we do a Google search. I know my mother-in-law puts in like sentences. And so there's certain keywords within what she's actually trying to get to that are the keywords. And so it'll pull up those results, right? So we can see that when I put in creating an SEO strategy, Search Engine Journal came up. They're giving you the 9 essential steps in building a winning SEO strategy. But this part here that's in the square is what we're talking about, meta description. So this is the description that they put for this page. We want to make sure that it's not too long, because then it doesn't all show up, as you can see. Or down here, like the third one, you see the dots. We want to make sure that it shows up. So that's why that 120 to 150 characters is perfect. We also want to make sure that we have strong calls to action as well within this meta description. And we want to make sure that it's unique to the page. We don't want to use the same meta description for every page of our website just to rank. I was telling Danny that we did a website webinar, I think it was last year or the year before with Engine Hire. And we had someone reach out just on Monday. They came back and they wanted help with their website as well as SEO. And we were looking at their website, and they're in Dallas, and they find nannies for people. And so they're like, oh, yeah, my SEO guy's trying to get me to rank for Dallas nannies. And so we said, okay. And we looked at all the pages of their website. On every page, the meta description was the same, the keywords were the same. Google's not going to rank that website at all. It has to be unique for each page of the site. And the content of every page of their website isn't about Dallas nannies. It might be about employment, or it might be about caregivers, or it might be about babysitters, or whatever it's about. It's different for each page of the site. So we want to make sure that it's unique for each page. And then creating engaging content. So that great content that I talked about a few slides before, the way that we create good content is by prioritizing profitable topics. So we'll identify 1 to 3 keywords or key phrases that relate to your industry, to the topic that's related on the page that we're on. So let's just use the nanny site. They had a caregiver page. We want to talk about caregivers, right? That's our topic. So we want to choose keywords that is relevant to that page. We also want to look at the audience. So for that page, we're looking at caregivers. If we were looking at the employment page, we would be looking at unemployed. So we have to think about our audiences for each page of the website as well, and balance the information that we're giving to the user, as well as making sure that those keywords are in the content. One big bad thing to do is, like this website that I'm talking about, putting Dallas nannies in every other sentence. That is horrible SEO, and the website will never get ranked. Google and the other search engines see past this. Another bad thing to do is, have you guys ever seen in the footer of a website, they have every location possible, every city possible around them, so that they rank for if someone put in Houston nannies or Dallas nannies or whatever, they would come up. That doesn't work either. So we see that so often, and it's not good SEO. It's not even bad SEO. It's not even SEO. You will not get ranked. You always want to keep readers clicking throughout your content. So you want to make sure that you link pages to one another. We'll talk about that in a moment. You want to make sure that you're giving them, maybe there's a form for them to fill out. Maybe there's a video to watch, something like that that's related to the content. So for every page of a website, when we're building a website, this is kind of what we do. You can do it too. We talk about, what is this page about? Why is this page important? So many times when we look at websites, or we're redesigning a website, we'll look at the content on each page of their site. They'll have content repeated throughout the website. Well, that's not unique for each page of the site, and you're just repeating yourself, and it doesn't need to be repeated, and search engines can see that. And guess what? You're not going to get ranked. So every page of your website needs to be unique. So we talk about, what is the page about? We'll list out our key phrases for that page. We'll talk about what are the goals for that page of the website. And we do this for every page of the website. We'll talk about, how is the goal measured? How are we going to figure out, the key audience members who come to this page? How are we going to figure out if they actually reach their goal? Who's going to visit this page? So who's our target audience, and why are they going to visit? Like, what information do they want to see? What's the user's goal? So we do this for every page, and we go through it. And a lot of the time when we evaluate a current website, the business owner is like, oh, wait a minute, we don't need that page. Or this page talked about that. I'd rather have it there. Let's get rid of this page. So not only does it help with SEO, it also helps for you to business develop. And even we've used this with customers where they're like, hey, I'm selling this product. It's not selling very well. We look at the Google Analytics and we say, you don't have a lot of traffic coming in to this page. And then they're like, yeah, my sales on that product is kind of low. So we'll look at that and we'll look at the content on the page to boost it up, make it more marketable, and to do SEO. So keyword research is important. So when we start a project, an SEO project, so like that client came on Monday, they said we need SEO as well. The first thing that we do is we evaluate what they currently have. So we can look at their website, we can look at the back end, we can see if any SEO work's been done before. It's an SEO audit. So we can look at that. And we can look at the content on their website as well and tell very quickly, have they used H1 tags? Have they implemented keywords within their website? Are they repeating keywords like the client that I talked about from Monday? Is the content relevant? So we can look at all of these things and do an evaluation. But then something that makes us sort of unique is that the other SEO companies don't do is that we do competitor research. So we'll actually ask you, hey, who are your top 3 competitors in your local area? Who do you compete with? And who's one national company that you compete with? And we can actually spy on them. There's a website out there called SpyFu, F-U. And if you go on it, you have to have a subscription, but we can spy on your competitors. We can see what keywords they're using, what they're ranking for. We can even go as far as to see how much they're spending on Google ads if they're doing them, which is interesting for some companies. We were working with a mortgage company, a local one here in Chicago, and they were comparing themselves to large mortgage companies, national ones. And we're like, okay, well, ranking with those is going to be kind of hard. Let's stay a little local. So we looked at some of their local competitors and saw that they were spending a boatload on Google ads, which helped them. However, their SEO, they had done nothing for SEO on their websites. And so because of that, even though they were spending a boatload with Google ads, they were getting calls. Most were bots calling them, but they were getting some clients from it. However, without doing that basic SEO and doing the things that we've just talked about today, they weren't ranking very well. And so our client was like, well, that's interesting. And also by doing some competitor research, we can look at their social media marketing as well. And we can be like, okay, well, hey, they're not doing this. You could be doing this. This is how you can stand apart. They're not gaining engagement on these types of posts, but they are on these. And so we can help come up with a strategy for that as well. So I talked a little bit about links. So the first link that I want to talk about is internal links. So within your website, within your content, you want to have internal links. Those are links that go from one page on a domain to a different page on the same domain. Google and other search engines like to see this. Why? Don't ask me why. I have no idea why, but that's what the algorithm is. That's what they're looking for. So linking between each page of your website is important to do. A great way to do this is not only within the content of your website, but also the blogs. We always like to tell our clients, you need to change out your content on your website every 3 to 4 months. And a lot of clients are like, I don't want to change the content on my website. Like, it's not changing. Like, I don't need to. My services aren't changing. I don't want to reword it. So the best way to do that and keep changing content on your website is through a blog and doing blog posts. There's a number of reasons for that besides SEO, but it also establishes you as an industry expert within your industry. So just posting 1 or 2 blog posts a month and then putting it out there on social media is important, but it'll help you also with this internal linking as well. And then we have anchor text. So anchor text is the visible text on a page that can be clicked on and links to another page. That's all it is. So, in the example on the left, it's the same one that I just showed on the previous slide. It takes you from one page to another. And Google and the other search engines love to see this, so we implement it and we put it in. Again, you want to promote your content. So once you have created this great content, how do you get it out there? You don't want to just stop when you hit the publish, right? When the website goes live and the pages are live. You want to follow it up. You want to follow it up with link building with other people, other reputable websites. You want to follow it up by going on social media and presenting this content to your audiences that you want to have be your clients or customers. You can do public relations, you can do podcasts, whatever you need to do to get that content out there, you do. Because again, once you get the content out there, people are going to start coming to the website, and that shows traffic to the site. It increases your traffic, and it's going to help you with your ranking. So what is link building that I just talked about? Link building is an ongoing process where you are sharing information and content with other networks, and you're backlinking. So you can create relationships with other brands, industry experts. You can connect with them. You can say, hey, would you like to do a featured blog on my website? Then I can link back to your reputable website that's ranking very high. That helps to increase your ranking. It's a lot of work, I will tell you. Link building and backlinking is a lot of work, which is why we hire SEO experts to do that, to establish those relationships. Just as an example of how this works, we were working with a radon mitigation company here in Illinois. So basically here in houses, there's radon in the ground that will come up into your home and it'll make you sick, give you cancer, whatever. And so they mitigate that. They put systems into the homes. And so they're advocates about just making the public, knowing this information and making them knowledgeable. But we started doing social media with them after we built their website. And the owner's really funny. And he got a new tool from DeWalt. And so he was in his garage and I was like, why don't we do a funny video of you with the tool? And so he did this super funny video. We put it on Instagram, we put it on Facebook, and DeWalt actually reached out on Instagram and said, this video is hysterical. If we send you another tool, would you do another video? And so he did. And so now he is like an influencer for DeWalt, and he's doing all this. He's getting a boatload of traffic to his website. He's gotten a lot of awareness around radon here in Illinois, all because we posted a funny video of him in his garage with a new tool. We've now done some backlinking with DeWalt on their website. So now they're linking together. And so he's getting that traffic to his site and it's increasing. And now he's #1 in Chicago for radon mitigation systems. So it's kind of the way that it works, but it all has to work together. Backlinking, I just talked about, it's the same thing. Let me go ahead. So doing basic SEO, and it was funny, on Monday, the woman who was at the webinar about web design a year or two ago, she said, I remember what you said, and you said basic SEO, the bare minimum. And I said, yeah, I said a lot of SEO companies just do the bare minimum. And then they charge a monthly fee to monitor, and they're supposed to be sending you reports and they don't. Or they do, and the business owner has no idea what's in these reports or how to interpret them. And basically the company just did the bare minimum. And what they did with basic SEO is they let the search engine know that, hey, my website exists. They put in a few keywords. They didn't do any competitor research. They didn't do any keyword research. And then they're charging a monthly fee. I hear horror story after horror story about this. And so here at QCamp, what we like to do is just to make sure that the client is knowledgeable. They understand what's involved with SEO enough to know what we're talking about. I try to put it in terms that everybody understands, and just knowing how it works. But then knowing that, hey, I'm not the expert, I need to hire someone. Please, I will offload this to you. You do it, but let me know, keep me updated. If we have weekly meetings or monthly meetings, whatever we need to do. I will say that all of these steps take a good amount of time to implement. This is just isn't like, oh, in a month, all this is done. It takes a while. It takes a while to go through your website and the content. It takes a while to do the research, keyword research, competitor research. And it takes time to build up that traffic to the website as well. But it all works together. So, like I said, our process is that we put together a marketing plan. So, we do that competitor research. We also do hashtag research in that marketing plan to help you with your social media marketing. That helps us with keywords as well. And then we do an audit of your website. So, we'll look to see, is your content rich and heavy in keywords? What are those keywords, if any? And then doing that competitor research really does help us to guide us into what keywords are ranking high and what keywords you think are important, but don't rank high. And we do that through a program called SEMrush, which some of you have probably heard of. It's very expensive, but as an agency, we get a pretty good deal on it. So we can put all our clients in there. And what it does is it helps us to get you into, there's directories that your business needs to be listed in. There's over 67. So we make sure that you're listed within those directories so that the search engines can actually find you. We also do local SEO. So we do Google Business. So, when you do a search and off to the right, it has, a picture of the business's information. It'll say call, website, hours, Google reviews. That only comes up for your business if you've implemented it and you've done it. So we do that for all of our clients to make sure that you come up as well. Also, local SEO, you know how when sometimes you go into a search engine like Google and you type in pizza near me, and all the pizzerias near you come up, that's local SEO. So you want to make sure that you come up when someone says, local nanny, and you're in the Dallas area, you're going to come up. We also do on-page and off-page SEO, which we talked about today. We review your website content, and we have content writers that work with our SEO department. So all the content on your website is marketable. It makes sense. It's written in a way that the different users who come to your website would want to see it, have it presented to them. And it's also SEO rich, meaning it's got those keywords and key phrases in it. And then we do monthly monitoring. And we also do weekly or monthly meetings with our clients, depending on how often they want to be checked in and look over those reports and have things explained to them. I leave it up to the client because some clients are hands off and they're like, just please make sure that you do this, it gets done. Other clients are like, let's just meet monthly and then you can explain things to me. So we do whatever we need to do with each client. So some takeaways from today, I want you to focus on a manageable number of pages. We didn't really talk about that, but sometimes business owners feel like I need all these pages on my website. The more pages I have, the higher I'm going to rank. That is not the case. Again, make sure you have relevant content. Get rid of the content that you don't need. Get rid of the repeated content. Ensure you're building the right type of content for your users. So that's a strategy I don't know what the word is. I can't think of it right now, but it's kind of an exercise. There you go. An exercise of what we do with our clients is we try to figure out who's going to come to your website. Who are those different stakeholder groups? And then we create the content based on that for them. Make sure that you're linking your content to relevant pages with those keyword rich anchor texts. So making sure that you link pages to pages within your website. And then promoting your pages on social media, because again, traffic, after you do all of this stuff, then how much traffic is coming to your website? And you do that through social media marketing. And in the end, some business owners will go away today and they'll be like, that was a lot. I didn't quite get everything. I might do some more research and try to figure it out, and I might try to implement it on my own. But typically, I will tell you 98% of the time, you just hire an SEO expert. Just now you have some knowledge to take away to hire an SEO expert that actually knows what they're doing. You'll know right off the bat when you interview anyone if they know what they're doing or not. And so I hope I gave you guys some knowledge today to be able to do that and to make an informed decision for yourself. I'm always available. Obviously, I would love to help you with your SEO or marketing. So I have my contact info there. But yeah, that's it. I don't know if I see we have some questions.
We sure do. Michelle, first of all, that was amazing. I learned so much. There was parts of where my brain was exploding.
Yeah,
Um,
me
the
too.
the first thing that's, just a side of this, but you had mentioned it at the beginning, is for people that are not in Chicago, do you have advice for those that are trying to connect with community groups of entrepreneurs or other nanny agencies?
Oh, well, that's a really good question. I would say Facebook is probably the biggest thing. I don't know of any groups though outside and or the engine hire community, but I definitely would look on LinkedIn or Facebook and do those searches or do a Google search.
Yeah. Next okay, here's a great one.
Yeah.
Is sorry, it all moved on me. They'd love to learn more about AI impacting SEO efforts. For
Oh,
example,
yeah.
using AI for blogs, social media, etc. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Don't do it. So AI, so for our firm, we use Chat GPT just to figure out topics to talk about for our social media marketing clients. So like the radon guy, I will go into Chat GPT and I will put in a page of his website and I'll say, give me some topics to write about this month for social media. And it'll give me a list. And I'll be like, oh, done that, done that, done. Oh, here's 3 really good ideas. Cool. That's all we use it for. Do not write content using Chat GPT or any other AI tool because the search engines are going to start to be able to detect this. They're going to know that it's not human developed content, and then they're going to stop ranking us. And this is going to happen. I have friends who work at Google. I have friends that work at other companies as well. And they're like, you guys don't use AI, you guys don't use Chat GPT to write anything. And we're like, no. I said, because sometimes it sounds stupid. I said, we've tested it. I'm like, other times it just doesn't make sense. The tone of voice is totally different than what we would write. People can catch on to it pretty quickly now. I mean, it does write sometimes some good stuff. But the search engines are going to start being able to detect that. So I would just say stay away from it if at all possible.
Great.
Sorry, AI people.
Yeah, wow. Sad. Um, is SEO something that continuously needs to be updated and audited with some steady frequency? I think you kind of
Yes,
covered that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So once you have all of this in place, which is a lot, then you need to audit it because things change all the time. The algorithms change all the time with the search engines. So you have to have people who are knowledgeable with SEO and who are staying on top of that. Um, and so that way you can change your clients, anything that you need to change for your clients. And we do that all the time. We and it depends too on what platform your website's built on. If you're using WordPress or Wix or whatever, Squarespace, they change their stuff all the time too. And the search engines change their stuff. So you just have to stay on top of it. So definitely monitoring it every month is important. And sometimes keywords change within industries, and maybe you want to rank for something else, or maybe different keywords are ranking higher than others for a monthly period. That's why that SEMrush is really good for us as a tool, because we put in all your competitors, we put in your website, and it'll monitor it. And it'll be like, okay, well, now this keyword is ranking higher in your area. This is what you need to be ranking for, and it'll tell us. And then we go into your website and we change everything based off of that. So knowing all of that, yeah, you gotta monitor frequently.
Great. Um, Also, do you specialize in any certain industry?
So I talked today about the nanny company in Dallas just through Engine Hire. I talked about a radon mitigation company. We work with all types of industries. We are not industry specific. I can't tell you we worked with a lot of companies with Engine Hire since the last webinar that we've done. In those industries, we worked with a dental office, a lot of nanny companies as well. I don't know what other industries use Engine Hire.
It's all over
It's
the place.
it's all over the place, right? It's the same for us. So, and we don't need to be industry specific to do SEO or social media marketing or build a website. Every website works the same way. Users work the same way, social media works the same way, and SEO works the same way.
Lenora wanted to know, and I think you mentioned it, that you've worked with dental staffing agencies, right?
Yes, yes. So, Dental Force was one that we did that's coming off the top of my head from the webinar that we did. There were a few other dental offices that we did as well. So we redid their websites. We did their SEO. We're monitoring it now because that was about a year ago. And we're doing their social media marketing. So there were quite a few dental offices that came to that webinar. And then we've worked with other dental offices as well around the Chicago area.
And I think kind of lastly is people want to know more about how they can find out how much your services cost to get help from you. And from basic SEO to I think also like the marketing and everything.
Yeah, so we base it off of every client. We just don't have a cut and dry, hey, SEO is X amount of money. We look at your website, we look at how large your website is, we look at the content on your website, we look at what's been done and what hasn't been done, because that's going to gauge how much work we have to do. So pricing is different for everybody. We come up with a proposal for each client that's specific to them. So I would say I see somebody's in Prague, somebody else is in Chicago. I see that in the chat. Doesn't matter where you are. If you're interested and you would like to know about pricing, just feel free to email me. You have my email up right there. Email me directly with a link to your website so that we can take a look. And then we can go ahead and give you a custom proposal just for you. And we can also look at your marketing and make some other suggestions as well and give you pricing for that too.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. I guess I just wanted to piggyback off of that question. When you said focus on a manageable number of pages,
Yes.
would SEO, like if you have, tons and tons of pages on your website, focusing on just a few of them, does that help you? Or does you got to do like the whole thing and it's like, yep, okay, she's
Yep.
nodding. Okay, I get it.
Yep. You got to do the whole thing. You have to do every page. Yep. We had a client right before the holidays who came to us and they're like, I don't know, I used to be on page 1 and now I'm on page 10 or 9 or whatever it was. I don't know what happened to my SEO. So I was like, well, first, do you have someone working with you monthly? And they're like, well, no, I did it. And then I was done with them. They did the work. And I was like, you got to monitor it. And you have to make those changes as changes occur, with the search engines, and the platform that you built your website on. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, this person that you hired didn't tell you this, like they didn't want the monthly work. And he's like, no, they were like done with me. I was like, okay, well, first of all, that's a red flag for me. Like, are you hard to work with? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, okay. So anyway, yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, you've got to optimize every page of the website. And we dug in and we found out that the guy had like only done 2 pages of the site. And then the client had gone in and added more pages to their website after they let
Mm.
this guy do his thing and they were done with him. And because of that, and because the SEO wasn't done on the new pages that he added onto the website wasn't even being ranked anymore. And that was the problem.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
like a yeah, one of those like horror stories type things, like
Yeah.
it lets you know. It's like, oh, that's stay away from that.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Well, Michelle, thank you so much. I'll make sure that everybody can remember this contact information, Michelle at qcamp.com. Uh, everyone will be able to take away this recording. I'll have it up just as soon as possible. And if not tomorrow, by Monday, we'll send out the link to the recording. You can always find it if you just went to the Engine Hire homepage. There's a thing that says webinars and blogs. It'll be the newest one. Yeah, Michelle, thanks so much for joining us. Everybody, thanks for joining us. If you have more questions, feel free to drop them in the community. You can always get a hold of us. And then, of course, reach out to Michelle directly. She's going to know all of it.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you guys for having me. And yeah, just reach out and I'll be more than happy to hop on a call with you or email you back.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.